When was the last time a woman got stuck in your head and you could not stop thinking about her, no matter what you did? Now flip that image completely and see yourself as the man who lives inside her mind like that. The man she secretly checks her phone for. The man she looks for in every room. The man who shows up in her thoughts when she is in the shower, at work, or lying in bed at night. That is what most men mean when they say they want a woman obsessed with them. But almost nobody understands the real psychological structure behind that effect. Tonight I'm going to talk directly to you, as a man, with no childish games, no fake tricks, and no confusing examples about random people. Just you, women, and the mental mechanisms that decide whether you become unforgettable or invisible. The first truth you must understand is this. You do not force a woman to be obsessed with you. You become the kind of man her mind cannot easily ignore. That is a completely different approach. Manipulation, lies, exaggerated behavior, fake confidence, and desperate texting might generate some reaction, but they do not create that deep attraction, that subtle addiction, that sense of, I need more of him. What actually creates obsession is a combination of inner frame, masculinity, presence, mystery, emotional tension, boundaries, and self-control. Some of these ideas come from modern dating psychology. Others vienen de principios estoicos and classic philosophy about self-mastery and desire. Your job is not to memorize lines. Your job is to transform how you show up. So as you listen to my voice, imagine this clearly. In any social group, there is a very small minority of men who trigger a different level of emotional response in women. They might not always be the richest, the tallest, or the most handsome, but they have a presence that changes the atmosphere. Women pay attention to what they say. Their messages do not get ignored. Their absence is noticed. Those men are not lucky. They are operating from a stronger internal structure. The purpose of this video is to push you toward that side, to make you the sort of man a woman mentally chases even when you are not around. Before we talk about what makes a woman obsessed, we need to destroy what kills obsession instantly. Because right now, you might be doing exactly the opposite of what works. Most men believe that to get a woman interested, they must be available all the time, reply immediately, always agree, constantly compliment, and show that they are different from other men by having no standards, no boundaries, and no life outside of her. Then they get surprised when she pulls away, replies slowly, gets cold, or disappears. That is not a mystery. Over-availability kills attraction. When you place a woman at the center of your world too fast, before she has earned that place, her subconscious reads it immediately. If I am this man's entire world already, he probably does not have anything bigger than me. And a woman does not become obsessed with an empty man. She becomes obsessed with a man who is already full of purpose, direction, and self-respect. Here is where Stoic principles become crucial. A Stoic man is not cold. He is self-governed. He does not give his emotions away to circumstances he cannot control. When a man is ruled by his need for female validation, he becomes chaotic, clingy, reactive, and weak in his decisions. That energy, even if he never says a word about it, is felt. Women are extremely sensitive to the energy of neediness. You do not need to say, please love me, for her to pick it up. She notices it in the way you overtext, overjustify, explain yourself too much, panic when she is slow to reply, or get upset when she is not giving you constant attention. Obsession does not grow in an atmosphere of desperation. It grows in an atmosphere of curiosity, challenge, respect, and emotional safety. So let us start from the core. Obsession begins in your inner frame. Your frame is the mental structure from which you interpret reality. It is your identity, your standards, your priorities, and your philosophy combined. A woman can feel attracted to your looks, your charm, or your conversation, but she only becomes deeply fixated when she senses a solid frame underneath. She wants to feel that you stand on something firm, that you are not just words, not just style, not just external image. How do you communicate that without bragging and without telling your full life story? Through your decisions and your boundaries. When you value your time, you do not drop your entire day because she sent you a last-minute, "Hey, are you free?" when you already planned something important. When you have principles, you do not pretend to agree with everything she says just to get closer to her. When you have a vision for your life, you do not abandon your habits, your training, your work, or your purpose just because she is bored and wants entertainment. Your choices reveal your frame, and your frame is what her subconscious tests and evaluates. Women admire men who govern themselves. Silent leadership is extremely attractive. You do not need to announce that you are disciplined. You show it. You do not need to tell her you have standards. You live them. Every time you betray your own values just to keep her around, you lose psychological power in her mind. You send a silent message. My need for you is stronger than my respect for myself. That kills obsession. Obsession requires admiration. Admiration grows when she sees that you are consistent with what you say, with what you believe, and with how you live, even when it would be easier to fold and please her. Now, frame alone is not enough. You need presence. Presence is the quality of being fully there when you are with her. In a world full of distraction, this is rare. A woman becomes addicted to how she feels in your presence, not just to who you are on paper. When you are with her, be with her. Look at her eyes when she speaks. Listen to understand, not just to reply. Reduce distractions. Do not check your phone every 30 seconds. Do not use her attention as background noise while you scroll. Make her feel that when she is in front of you, she has your focus. That does not mean worship. It means grounded attention. Presence is not about talking non-stop, performing, or being the loudest man in the room. Masculine presence is calm, grounded, almost slow inside. You are not rushing to impress. You are not trying to fill every silence. You are comfortable in your own skin. Women feel that difference. With one man, the energy is nervous, fragmented, and insecure. With another, the energy is collected and strong. Obsession grows around that second type. Because with him, she feels a mixture of safety and intensity. She can relax her nervous system while still feeling emotionally stimulated. But presence must be combined with something else. Mystery. When I say mystery, I do not mean being weird, hiding information, or playing childish games. Mystery, in this context, is simply the art of not exposing your entire inner world too fast. Many men confuse openness with emotional dumping. They meet a woman, feel some connection, and immediately unload their entire history, their traumas, their ex-relationships, their pain, their secrets, their grand visions, everything in the first few conversations. That does not create obsession. It creates saturation. Her mind has no space left to wonder. There is no gradual discovery, no unfolding, no what else is there? The most magnetic characters in any story are not fully revealed in the first chapter. You get pieces, hints, moments that make you want to know more. You can apply the same principle without acting or being fake. Share enough to connect, but not everything. Let your life, your values, your passions be revealed over time. Let your actions show parts of your character before your words explain them. When she feels that there are layers in you that she has not fully understood yet, her mind stays engaged. Curiosity is one of the strongest mental hooks. A curious mind will revisit you. It will replay your words. It will look for patterns in your behavior. That is how obsession starts. Now we add another key element: tension. Many men are terrified of tension. They think that if a woman feels even a little bit uncomfortable, challenged, or uncertain, she will run away. So they try to make every interaction easy, flat, predictable, and fully agreeable. This kills attraction. Tension, properly handled, is the electricity between comfort and challenge. It is the feeling that you are not there to be consumed, but also not there to dominate. You have your own opinions, your own rhythm, your own boundaries, and you are not afraid of a little friction. Tension appears when you do not immediately agree with everything she says, but you also do not become combative. Maybe she expresses an idea that you do not share. The weak, approval-seeking man will pretend to agree or stay silent, hoping to avoid conflict. The insecure, aggressive man will attack her opinion harshly to feel powerful. The grounded man will simply say, calmly, "I see why you think that. I look at it differently," and explain his perspective with confidence and respect. That small moment shows a lot. You have your own mind, you are not desperate to be liked, and you can handle disagreement without losing control. This kind of tension keeps a woman engaged because she understands that you are not a mirror. You are a man. Tension also lives in how you manage closeness and space. If you are always available, always initiating, always texting, always planning, you remove all tension. There is no question, no gap, no room for her to reach out. On the other extreme, if you are cold, distant, and emotionally closed, there is too much gap and not enough connection. Obsession grows in the balance. Moments of intense connection and presence followed by space for her to feel your absence. When she leaves a date with you, she should feel full, but not overloaded. She should still have questions. She should still want more. That more is the hook. Now we come to polarity. Polarity is the attraction between masculine and feminine energy. A woman becomes obsessed not with a neutral man, but with a man who embodies his masculine core. Masculine energy is about direction, leadership, clarity, responsibility, and emotional steadiness. It does not mean controlling her, it means controlling yourself. It does not mean suppressing emotion, it means not being dominated by emotion. When you step fully into your masculine, you create a space where her feminine side can relax, express, and open. This has nothing to do with being rude or dominating. It has everything to do with being decisive. For example, instead of always asking, "What do you want?" "I don't know." You choose whatever you like. You can suggest, "Let's meet at this place at 7. You will like it." You still listen to her preferences, but you are not afraid to lead. Instead of collapsing emotionally if she is in a bad mood, you stay calm, centered, and present. You validate how she feels, but you do not sink into drama. That steadiness is rare. It makes you a psychological anchor in her life. This is where stoicism meets seduction. The stoic man understands that he cannot control her emotions, only his responses. So if she pulls away, tests you, or behaves unpredictably, he does not chase frantically. He does not argue endlessly. He does not beg. He observes. He decides what aligns with his standards, and he acts from that place. That kind of emotional sovereignty is magnetic because most men are ruled by the situation. Very few rule themselves. Another crucial element in creating obsession is your energy of abundance. If you secretly believe that this one woman is your only chance at love, intimacy, or happiness, you will act from fear. You may try to hide it, but your behaviors will expose you. You will tolerate disrespect. You will overgive. You will over-explain. You will accept low-quality treatment just to keep her in your life. This kills attraction at a deep level. A woman may use you, but she will not become obsessed with you. Obsession is built around a man she feels she could lose, a man she respects, a man she cannot fully control. Abundance does not mean sleeping with many women or playing games. It means knowing deeply that your value does not come from any single woman's reaction. You know you are capable of connecting with women. You know your life will continue with or without her. You know your emotional world does not collapse if one woman leaves. When that understanding becomes real in your body, not just in your head, your whole vibe changes. You stop over-pursuing. You stop arguing to convince. You stop panicking over little signs. And ironically, that is exactly when women start chasing you more. Communication is another huge factor. The way you talk to a woman can put you in the friend zone, the forgettable zone, or the addictive zone. If your conversations are shallow, repetitive, and predictable, like, "Hi, how are you? What are you doing? How was your day?" over and over, there is no hook. Her brain receives you as one more background voice. To make a woman obsessed with you, you must engage her mind and emotions. That means mixing playfulness with depth. Learn to flirt with precision, not with cheesy lines. Flirting is not about being vulgar or aggressive. It is about playful subcommunication of desire and interest. It is hinting that you see her as a woman, not just a neutral friend, while still respecting her boundaries. Instead of drowning her in generic compliments like, "You're so beautiful," you can focus on specific details: the way she laughs, her sense of humor, the way she thinks, the energy she brings into a room. When you highlight something that most people do not notice, she feels deeply seen. Being seen is addictive. At the same time, you want to show that you have standards in communication. You do not respond to every message instantly like your life depends on it. You are not always waiting. You reply when you are free, when it makes sense, not from panic. You do not send long emotional paragraphs if she is barely investing. You match and slightly lead her investment, but you never chase her attention as if it is oxygen. Your messages have intention. Sometimes they are light and teasing. Sometimes they are meaningful and personal. That variety keeps her engaged. Obsession is not created by one perfect message. It is built over time through a pattern of stimulating interactions. We cannot ignore the physical side. You do not need to look like a model, but you do need to respect yourself physically. Women are very sensitive to cues of health, vitality, and self-respect. Your body language, your grooming, your style, your posture, your tone of voice, all of that speaks louder than your words. A man who slouches, avoids eye contact, speaks with a weak voice, and dresses carelessly sends a non-verbal message: "I do not value myself highly." It is very hard for a woman to become obsessed with someone who does not seem obsessed at least a little bit with his own life. Start with simple, powerful fundamentals. Stand straight, relax your shoulders, keep your chest open. Walk with intention, not like you want to disappear. When you speak, slow down a little. Do not rush your words. Take your space in a calm way. Look people in the eyes when you talk, especially her, without staring aggressively. Take care of your hygiene. Wear clothes that fit you properly instead of hiding your body. These changes may seem small, but they transform how women feel around you. Remember, obsession is driven by feeling, not by logic. Another pillar is respect and boundaries. A woman cannot be healthily obsessed with a man she does not respect. She might feel drawn to a toxic dynamic, but that is a wound, not desire. You are not here to be someone's trauma. You want to be the upgrade in her life, the man she looks up to, not the one she needs to heal from. That means your behavior must be aligned with integrity. You do not insult her to feel powerful. You do not manipulate her emotions cruelly. You do not use silence as a weapon. You do not cross ethical lines to boost your ego. You can be strong and soft at the same time, firm and kind, direct and considerate. At the same time, you must be willing to walk away from disrespect. If she constantly plays games, disrespects your time, crosses your boundaries, or treats you as an option while expecting you to treat her as a priority, you do not reward that behavior. You calmly pull back. You say no. You leave. The ability to leave situations that are beneath your standards is one of the strongest signals of high value you can send. It tells her, I care about you, but I care about my self-respect more. That is exactly the kind of man a woman's mind struggles to forget. Now, how do you put all of this into action without feeling overwhelmed? Start by shifting the central question in your mind. Most men walk into interactions with women asking, what can I do to make her like me? That question makes you weak. It puts all the power in her hands. You become reactive. You adjust yourself constantly. Instead, walk into interactions asking, who do I want to be in this moment? And does this woman fit into the life I am building? This immediately changes your behavior. You are no longer begging for acceptance. You are observing, evaluating, and choosing. When you text her, do it as a man who already has a full life. That means you are not sitting by the phone, obsessing over every single word. You send a message that feels true to your personality and your intentions. You do not double text frantically if she does not respond in 5 minutes. You do not stalk her online trying to interpret each small move. You stay in your lane. You train, you work, you build, you learn. Your emotional world does not pause every time she writes or does not write. This internal focus creates external power. When you see her in person, bring your full focus to the moment. Notice how she speaks, how she reacts, how she treats others, how she handles stress, how she listens. You are not just trying to be chosen, you are also choosing. Maybe she looks good, but her attitude is full of entitlement, disrespect, or emotional chaos. A man with standards does not ignore that just because she is attractive. And here is the paradox. When a woman sees that you are able to step back from beauty if the behavior does not align with your value multiplies in her eyes. Because you are not hypnotized, you are conscious. Over time, as you embody these principles, frame, presence, mystery, tension, polarity, abundance, communication, physicality, respect, and boundaries, you stop needing techniques to make women obsessed. You become naturally unforgettable because you are rare. Most men are soft in their boundaries, chaotic with their emotions, empty in their purpose, and desperate in their pursuit. You are building the opposite: strength with humility, calm with intensity, purpose with playfulness, clarity with empathy. That combination is like a psychological drug. You must also accept a crucial reality. Not every woman will respond to you, even when you do everything right. People come with their own histories, wounds, tastes, and timing. Some women will not be ready for a man with standards. Some will prefer men they can fully control. Some will be too focused on their own chaos to see the value in front of them. That is not your problem. The man who truly embodies high value does not collapse when someone does not choose him. He stays loyal to his path and allows those who do not align to fall away. So, when you think about how to make any woman obsessed with you, I want you to rewrite that in your mind. The real question is, how do I become the man that high-quality women cannot easily forget? That is the game you want to play. It is not about controlling her mind. It is about mastering yourself so deeply that her mind cannot ignore you, because you stand out in a world of men who are lost in distraction, weakness, and fear. From this moment on, every interaction with a woman is an opportunity to practice this new identity. When you feel the impulse to send a needy message, pause and ask, is this coming from strength or from fear? When you feel the urge to overshare your entire life story on the first date, ask, am I giving this too fast because I am uncomfortable with silence or with being a mystery? When you notice yourself making excuses for disrespectful behavior, ask, if I truly respected myself, would I accept this? These questions bring you back to your center again and again. As you keep choosing your center, your magnetism will change. Women will feel it. Conversations will feel different. Some will test you harder. That is a sign you are starting to project more value. They want to see if your frame is real. Do not be upset by tests. Pass them calmly by being consistent with your standards, not by arguing or proving yourself. Over time, the women who are aligned with your growth will feel something very specific around you, a mixture of attraction, respect, curiosity, and emotional safety. That mix is the formula for healthy obsession. You are not here to play small, to beg for attention, or to live as a shadow in your own life. You are here to become the kind of man who walks into a room and changes the emotional temperature without saying a word. The kind of man a woman thinks about long after the date ends. The kind of man whose absence is loud. That does not come from tricks, it comes from work. From the discipline to build your body, to sharpen your mind, to strengthen your spirit, to enforce your boundaries, to refine your communication, and to live by your values even when it is inconvenient. If you commit to that path, you will notice something powerful. The question, "How do I make her obsessed with me?" will slowly disappear, because you will no longer be chasing obsession. You will be choosing who gets access to you. And the women who do gain that access will feel it deeply. They will know they are not dealing with an ordinary man. And once a woman realizes that she has a rare man in front of her, strong, grounded, masculine, self-respecting, emotionally intelligent, her biggest fear will not be, "What if I do not like him?" It will be, "What if I lose him?" That is when obsession begins.